Mafia Definitive Edition is the first of the remasters in the Mafia series that came out at the end of 2020. The original came out in 2002, over 20 years ago, and looked like this back then to now having major improvements with upgraded graphics. We follow Tommy's life and witness him from being a normal cab driver to joining the mob. Let's see how his journey goes while achieving the Platinum Trophy. We start with a strange man who turns out to be Detective Norman, meeting with Tommy in a diner. Tommy asks to meet with this cop and offer him some information in exchange for protecting his family. The game is told through flashbacks, and we will understand why he is meeting with this detective soon. One night, while Tommy was ending his shift, he met two men who worked for Don Salieri, named Sam and Polly, who will change his life, but he doesn't know it yet. They take Tommy hostage and use him as a getaway driver to escape from the people chasing them. After jumping a bridge, we headed to a bar and dropped them off. They tell us to stay so we can be rewarded for our efforts in helping them. While Tommy worries that helping these strangers may backfire on him, they end up keeping their word and paying us for our services and car damages. Sam also mentions that the Don appreciates us and to let them know if we need anything. After our conversation ended, we got our first trophy for finishing chapter 1. Tommy didn't accept their offer and returned to working as a cabbie. While we take our coffee break, some strange men attacked our vehicle with a baseball bat and dragged us out of the car. These guys work for Don Morello, who is Salieri's rival, and were the ones that chased Sam and Polly. As they explain our mistake of helping them, Tommy takes the opportunity to escape. After running through alleyways, he reaches Salieri's bar and hides behind Sam and Polly. Sam tries to defuse the situation by talking to them, but they aren't having it until Polly pulls up with a shotgun. Those guys leave like the cowards they are, and we get invited inside to meet the Don himself, which earned us another trophy. We finally meet the Don and introduce ourselves. Tommy tells them about the issues with Morello's men, and he offered us a small loan, but Tommy doesn't want any cash. Instead, he wants the opportunity to get payback on them. Salieri gives us information about their whereabouts and tells Polly to accompany us. Before we head there, I grab some trophies. Alright, it should be a trophy for collecting my first collectible. It should be another trophy for a different set of collectibles. We meet a mechanic called Ralphie who has a stuttering problem. Man, imagine if he could say a full sentence without a problem.
One day I'm gonna cut your brake line, asshole.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
While driving to Morello's bar, I get a trophy for reaching 50 miles per hour with the boat ace driving down a bridge. We reached the location and got our first experience with melee combat.
Boom, bam, bop, bada, bop, boom, pow.
Both of them returned to the bar, and the Don offered us a spot in his crew to help with his business, and Tommy accepts. He welcomed us to the family and got a trophy for finishing the chapter. After a few days running with Salieri, we got our first official job, which is collecting money from various clients that we protect. While waiting at the final stop to collect, we hear a gunshot and Polly comes out bleeding. The gunman threatened us to leave, but Tommy first has to save Sam as he is still inside the motel. Trying to find a way in, I got a trophy for collecting my first gangster comic. We get to Sam and try to get him out, but are ambushed by this guy who has the money we need, so Tommy chases him down, which gets us another trophy. The next job for us is to sabotage an upcoming race as a new guy is entering from Europe with a vehicle that will beat Salieri's undefeated racer. Tommy offers to hurt the new driver, but he is nowhere to be found. Instead, we will hijack his vehicle and take it to one of our mechanics to make some modifications to the car so Salieri's guy can come in first and profit from betting on him. It's the day of the race and we find out that our driver got attacked by Morello's men, so he can't participate. Now Tommy has to step in as the race is about to start and he is the best available driver. We start the race and see the new driver being taken out after messing with his vehicle the previous night. To beat the mission, we have to come in first place, and obviously I will do it on my first try.
Know your fucking place, trash.
I meant to say that I would do it on my second attempt.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
This is not looking good for me, as if I'm struggling this much on normal, Classic will be a nightmare to complete. After a few more attempts, I finally came in first place and was excited that it was finally over. We get praised by everybody once the race is done and get our cut for winning. We celebrate with a gorgeous woman named Sarah, but it gets cut short as Tommy has to find Polly and take him home as he is wasted. But instead of taking him home, we drive to a gentleman's club that he keeps bringing up, which will earn us a missable trophy. After reaching the place, trophy pops up. I got another one for completing the chapter. Some nights later, we are chilling at the bar and get asked by bartender Luigi to walk home with his daughter Sarah. Tommy gladly accepts and takes the opportunity to get to know her better, but we get interrupted by some punks outside of her apartment, so he does what he is best at and beats them up. We go to help Sarah, but get steamrolled by this guy and have to deal with him first. With my skills, I will have no problem taking him out.
Surprise, motherfucker!
After defeating him, we save Sarah and she invites us to her place to stitch us up. Once she finishes, Sarah tells Tommy to stay the night and we can guess what happens next. They get ready to get another trophy, obviously. The Don finds out about our encounter with those punks and wants us to teach them a lesson for thinking they can attack one of our own. He wants us to send a message to them by leaving their bodies lying on the streets. Tommy and Polly find out what they are hanging out, but they run away and the both of us handle some scrubs with our baseball bats. Afterward, we got into a car chase to catch up with these punks and I used my driving skills to nearly miss crashing. The guys we were chasing ended up not being skilled like me and crashed. Polly tells us to end their lives with a bullet, and before Tommy does, the guy begs for his life to be spared, but before we even consider, Polly pops him. He gives us crap for not pulling the trigger and also pops the passenger. Polly goes for a double tap, but his gun is empty. Tommy's in a trance after that, but Polly snaps us back into reality as he reminds us that these guys wanted to hurt Sarah. We leave the scene before the cops show up and get a trophy. Back at the bar, the boys get unfortunate news that one of the guys we just killed was a city councilor's son, but it gets even worse as the passenger Polly shot miraculously survived. Since that guy could ID us as the shooter, we plan to take him out during the city councilor's son's funeral. While Sam goes to take care of our mess, Tommy would deal with a nearby brothel that is now supporting Morello instead of the Don. We would take out the manager, grab some important documents and money, and blow up the place. Tommy also gets tasked to kill a woman who has been sharing our information with Morello. Instead of killing her, we scare her into thinking that she will die and give her some money as a favor for Sam as he had a thing with this woman. After telling her the situation, we tell her to leave town and never come back. We take out the manager, Tommy plants the explosives, and has to jump out of the building as the place is surrounded by cops. He gets some assistance from the explosion. After escaping the brothel, we head inside the church where the funeral is taking place, but get spotted by the survivor and have a shootout in the church. Lord forgive me for what I'm about to do. Tommy gets questioned by the priest and interrupted by the guy I shot an entire clip at not even 10 seconds ago. Before he pulls the trigger, we get saved by Sam when he puts a bullet in his head and an extra one to be sure he doesn't come back. Once again, I proved that I am a skilled driver while escaping the cops, which got me another trophy. The next day, we ride with Frank and hear how he met the Don through his childhood dog. He put her in races as she was unbeatable, and one day she lost. The dog was pregnant after every dog had a turn with her. Frank circles back by saying we are like that dog whenever Tommy flaunts his money and says that we will no longer be useful once everyone takes a turn on us. He doesn't want that for us as he thinks we have the best chance of running the town. Frank ends his speech by telling us that he broke the Don's nose when he tried to kill the dog. A few nights later, we get a job from Frank to be an extra set of eyes for a shipment from Canada and to meet up with Sam and Polly as they are already waiting. Tommy meets with Polly and they head to the pickup location, but there is no sign of Sam, so we go and investigate. I find a dead guy in the vehicle and get confronted by people with guns, and Tommy shows them why he's an original gangster. The guys we just killed were cops, which messes with Tommy's head, but we forget about it quickly as we still have to find Sam. We find him pinned down and watch them get shot. Hopefully he's alright and can wait for our help, as my priority is to grab a trophy for collecting my first fox. We go to him and he's in pretty bad shape, so the two of us hurry to get him out of there and bring Sam to a local doctor. After dropping them off, Tommy heads to Sarah's apartment and makes it look easy to ask your partner the $1,000,000 question.
Marry me.
Okay.
We meet with the Don in public and find out there is a mole in our operation. He pinpoints Frank as the mole as the account books are missing from the safe and the only people who have access are him and Frank. The Don thinks it could be over the dog that Frank told us about that he tried to kill. Tommy finds out that the Don did end up killing the dog the same day. He tells us to look for him, get the books, and take out Frank afterward. We find him at the airport and stop him before he boarded the plane. Frank tells us the reason for betraying the Don was that Morello allowed him to leave town with their lives in exchange for the account books. We find out that Frank hasn't given the books yet, and he gives us the key to the safety box where the books are located. Frank tells his family to get on the plane and explains his reasoning for taking the opportunity as he wanted out of the business due to the stress of not knowing when his last day would be. Right before Tommy pulls the trigger, he reconsiders killing Frank and lets him leave on the plane with his family. We get the books back and hold a fake funeral for Frank and his family. Morello went to the funeral to pay his respects and got a trophy for completing a chapter. The Don gives me a job to steal any evidence from a corrupt prosecutor he has on us. We meet with a safecracker, reach the home, steal the documents, eliminate the guards, leave the place, and earn another trophy. While loading a shipment, Paulie says he has a new opportunity for our operation to steal money from Morello with this new guy and his whiskey business. The Don tells us to meet with him and bring the merchandise back. We meet with the guy and make sure he isn't screwing with us by trying it out, and once Tommy does, we finish the transaction by Paulie punching him. But don't worry, that was already planned from the beginning, except he didn't tell us about it. However, we end up getting ambushed by Morello's men during the meeting, so Tommy goes beast mode on them. We bring the booze back to the Don, and everyone celebrates this new business adventure and get a trophy. While Tommy is at the bar, the Don asks us to drive him to a restaurant to eat lunch as his driver called in sick. As we are enjoying our meal, we notice some cars pull up and get to cover as they start to shoot the place up. To make matters even worse, they threw a grenade inside which pisses off the Don, and we take the opportunity to ambush them. After taking them out, we plan to visit Carlo, the sick driver, as he knew the Don would be at the restaurant and must have been the one that set him up. Let's just say we may have found him preoccupied with a lady, and Carlo gets the smackdown he deserves. However, he manages to escape from us, but Tommy takes care of him quickly. The Don then makes sure his face is never recognizable by stomping his head in. We see Morello with his little brother Sergio and discover their attack failed as Salieri is still breathing. They plan to start a full-out war with us and earn a trophy. Tommy meets with the Don as he plans to attack Morello, but first we have to break his defense by targeting some of the guys on his payroll. The first one is the city counselor whose kid we killed earlier. He is celebrating his birthday on a boat, so Tommy will sneak into the ship and take him out during his speech. We grab our costume to get inside. We get the pistol stashed for us and wait for the fireworks to set off to take him out. I escaped the boat with the help of Sam and Paulie and got a trophy. The next guy we target is Sergio after Sam and Vinny failed to take him out when given the opportunity. We plan to eliminate him by planting a bomb on his car. After setting it up, Tommy waits across the street to make sure he doesn't make it out alive, but instead, a woman gets into the car. We try to stop her from getting in, but it's too late as the bomb goes off. Tommy calls Vinny and we find out that Sam and Paulie have found Sergio, so we go to where they are. The three of us pull up to the restaurant with machine guns to deliver a message to him, but get ambushed by some of his men. He manages to escape from us, and Tommy chases him down with a motorcycle. During this chase, I go for the opportunity to get a trophy to perform a wheelie for 3 seconds. We eventually catch up to him, and Tommy does what Sam and Vinny couldn't do and ends Sergio's life by blowing him up and got another trophy. With Sergio gone, Morello goes into hiding while we wreak havoc around the town. He finally comes out by hosting a charity event, so the Don sends us to kill him in front of the public. However, the bastard makes it out without a scratch, and then we chase him through the town. It leads to the airport where Morello tries to escape by air and Tommy shoots out the plane engines. We chase the plane down, confront Morello, and do something that should have happened already. Now that Tommy killed him, he becomes a made man and somebody not to mess with, which earns us a trophy. A few years go by after Morello's death, and a new guy is running for governor and plans to take down our operation. The Don asks Tommy to put an end to his life during his campaign speech, so he reaches the vantage point and put a bullet in him. Afterward, I had to make my way out of the prison and got into a shootout with some cops. We hijack a cop car, and while Tommy is escaping, I show off why I have a driver's license and get a trophy for losing a 5-star police chase, and got a trophy for completing a chapter. At the restaurant, the Don talks about a shipment of cigars being held at customs and wants the three of us to steal them. This doesn't seem like something worth sending us as it is small time and are told that the actual job is to steal some diamonds hidden within those crates. While we drive to the location, Paulie here says that he has been thinking about robbing a bank. He already has a plan and needs us to join him. Tommy and Sam tell him how it's a bad idea to go behind the Don and will end up right next to Morello if he goes through with it. Our talk convinced him that the bank job wasn't worth doing. Tommy finds some merchandise and loads it up in the truck. Once we escape with the goods, we examine the crates and discover that instead of diamonds, it's dope. The boys are pissed as they think the Don lied to them, but they keep the information to themselves and don't question the Don when he arrives. Sam takes him home while the two of us stay behind. Paulie brings up the bank job idea and Tommy is considered taking up his offer to join him. Tommy seems convinced about the job and got a trophy for completing the chapter. Well, today is the day Paulie and I rob the bank. While Paulie controls the crowd of people, Tommy will get the manager to unlock the vault downstairs. With the vault open, we start filling our bag full of cash, but that is when the cops surround the bank. Paulie will worry about carrying the money and I'll go full marksman on the cops. Once Tommy deals with them, we leave the bank and celebrate that the job was successful. We give the money to Paulie and plan to get our share from him tomorrow, which got me a trophy. It's the next day and Tommy tells Sarah to pack some bags as they will go on a family vacation. We mentioned coming into some extra cash and not to worry about it. Tommy goes to Paulie's and finds him lying on the ground with blood everywhere. We hear the phone ringing and once we entered, it's Sam. Tommy informs him about Paulie and Sam tells us that he was calling to warn him that the Don found out about the bank job. He mentions that we are next and not to disappear, so Tommy asks for his help with some cash. Sam agrees to help and we go to meet with him. We get there but are immediately surrounded by guns and it turns out to be Sam who set us up. He killed Paulie and took all of the money. Sam also mentions that the Don isn't happy with us as he knows about Frank and the girl who left town. He says goodbye to us and Tommy meets his fate of waking up his inner John Wick to kill these fools. As Sam is bleeding to death, he pleads to us to let him live and Tommy hesitates to pull the trigger.
Me, you, Paulie.
With Sam gone, we leave the building and get a trophy for completing the chapter and another one for finishing the story. We finally made it to when these two meet and after telling the detective everything, he can't help our situation so Tommy decides to leave. That is when Norman tries to relate to the situation by bringing up his family and how he will do anything to protect them. He promises to try to protect us and Tommy agrees to give up all the info he has on the Don and will testify when the time comes. We get a montage of the effects of our decision and see members of the operation getting arrested, the Don as well. Tommy also did 8 years in prison and now gets to celebrate seeing his daughter's wedding. It's a beautiful day as Tommy is watering his lawn when a car pulls up to his house.
Mr. Angelo? Yes. Mr. Salieri sends his regards.
We got taken down by this duo and managed to protect our family in the end. With the story completed, it is time to get the remaining trophies. The first set is the collectibles. There's a total of 162 to collect divided between all these categories on the screen. Probably the worst part of the game as they are spread throughout the map and with no fast travel, it was a chore to do. Instead of boring you with me grabbing every single one, here's a quick montage of the trophies popping up. Once I finished those, I got another for completing the collection. During this, I also got trophies for collecting 15 and 30 cars in my garage. And if you thought the collectibles were done, then you are wrong as there are 5 hidden vehicles to grab, so here are those trophies. Next, I went to lockpick 5 cars. For this next trophy, I gotta get the attention of the police. Let them catch me so I can pay a fine. Once I do, I get out the vehicle and let the animation play out. For this trophy, I have to resist arrest by the police and have to press a certain button at the right time to get the animation. The only thing left to do is defeat the game on Classic. I have made it to the race, which is the hardest mission on Classic. Hopefully I don't struggle on this like in my first playthrough. First lap down in 7th place. Second lap and I'm in 8th place this time. Oh man, this is not looking good for me. Somehow I'm in 11th place. I'm gonna have to restart. First restart, hopefully my last one. Second lap done and it looks like I'm gonna have to restart again. I'm gonna restart again. You kidding me, man? I had a perfect race and everything. I had to restart again. Come on. This mission is impossible. Why am I even bothering? Give me a break. There's gotta be a way to do this. I know I can do it. I just gotta keep trying. Here's my 30th attempt and it was my best run as I was in the highest spot possible during the 3rd lap and it all went downhill from there. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh my god, this is it. This is it. I did it. Suck. Oh my god, I did it. Oh man. Screw this mission. I never want to play this mission ever again. I never want to think about skip this cutscene. Get me out of here. Let's skip all the way to the last mission. I'm tired of this game. Alright. I've made it to the final mission. The only thing left to do is to defeat Sam once again. Let's skip this cutscene. Made man. That's for defeating the game on Classic. And with that, the platinum should be mine. Another platinum down. Let me know if I should continue the Mafia series in the comment section, and if you enjoyed the video, you might like this one on screen. Have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.